Have you ever eaten something that looked perfectly healthy, only to later discover it was silently dragging your kidneys toward failure? Most people don't feel it happening. There's no sharp pain, no dramatic warning, just tiny invisible shifts inside your body until one day your doctor says your creatinine has jumped, your GFR has slipped, and suddenly everything feels out of your control. And that's exactly why we need to talk right now. Because the truth is, what you think is good, protein, might be the very thing forcing your kidneys to work harder than they were ever designed to. I'm Dr. Mark Ellis, and let me tell you something. I've seen far too many times in my clinic people who swear they're eating healthy, who exercise, who watch their calories, yet week after week their kidney numbers keep getting worse. Not because they're careless, but because no one ever explained that some everyday proteins create a silent pressure inside the kidney's acid load, phosphorus spikes, nitrogen waste that pushes them closer and closer to irreversible damage. And by the time symptoms appear, it's often too late to undo what's already been happening for years. But here's the part that gives me hope, and the part I want you to hold on to: your kidneys are not doomed. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly which proteins protect your kidneys like armor, and which ones chip away at them meal after meal. 4 clean, kidney-friendly proteins that help lower inflammation, stabilize your lab numbers, and support long-term filtration. And 6 healthy-looking proteins that can quietly overload your system and push you toward progression without you ever realizing it. And because healing isn't just about food, I'll also give you one simple daily habit, something so small you can start tomorrow morning that can help your kidneys breathe again and regain their rhythm. So stay with me, because once you understand this, your next meal won't just fill your stomach, it will protect your future. And that journey starts right now with the first protein most people completely overlook. Yet it might be the most kidney-safe option you'll ever find. When we talk about kidney-safe protein, most people immediately think of chicken breast or fish. But the truth is, one of the cleanest, most protective proteins isn't sitting at the butcher counter at all. It's right in your refrigerator. Egg whites. Simple, familiar, and shockingly effective for anyone who's trying to lower creatinine or slow down kidney decline. And I'll tell you why. A few years ago, I treated a patient named Maria, a 62-year-old woman who thought she was doing everything right: organic chicken, lean turkey, high-protein diets. But her phosphorus kept rising, her creatinine wouldn't stabilize, and she felt exhausted every morning. When we switched just 3 of her weekly protein meals to egg whites, her numbers started improving within weeks. Scientifically, it makes perfect sense. Egg whites deliver high-quality amino acids without the phosphorus load of whole eggs, about 10 milligrams per white compared to more than 80 milligrams in the yolk. They're nearly purine-free, which means less uric acid. No cholesterol, no saturated fat, no hidden inflammatory baggage. Just clean protein your kidneys don't have to fight against. And when your kidneys don't have to fight, they can finally recover. But here's where it gets interesting, because understanding why egg whites are powerful is only the beginning. But just knowing this isn't enough, because the next protein on this list doesn't just protect your kidneys, it actively reduces the pressure inside them, and most people never give it a chance. If egg whites are the gentle reset your kidneys desperately need, then tofu is the quiet warrior most people overlook. It doesn't shout for attention. It doesn't look impressive on a plate, but inside your body, it does something extraordinary, something animal protein simply can't. I still remember a patient named Mark, 58 years old, stage 4 CKD, who told me, "Dr. Tofu, that's not real food." And yet 2 months after introducing it into his meals, his phosphorus dropped for the first time in years, his bloating eased, and he said his body finally felt calm. That word stayed with me, calm, because that's exactly what tofu gives your kidneys. From a scientific standpoint, tofu is nearly perfect for kidney protection. Unlike meat, tofu creates a significantly lower acid load, meaning your kidneys don't have to waste precious resources neutralizing excess acid every time you eat. Half a cup gives you around 10 grams of high-quality plant protein without the metabolic burden of nitrogen waste, phosphorus spikes, or inflammatory compounds. And soy's natural antioxidants, especially isoflavones, have been shown in multiple studies to reduce oxidative stress inside the glomeruli, the microscopic filters that keep your blood clean and your kidneys functioning. When your protein source stops attacking your kidneys and starts supporting them, everything changes from your energy to your lab numbers. But knowing this still isn't enough, because the next protein on this list doesn't just support your kidneys, it delivers comfort, strength, and an ease of digestion most people desperately need, and yet almost no one uses it correctly. If tofu is the quiet warrior, then tilapia is the gentle comfort your kidneys have been begging for. Light, familiar, and surprisingly powerful when your body is struggling to keep up. After years of treating kidney patients, I've noticed a pattern. The proteins that feel the easiest on your stomach are often the ones that protect your kidneys the most, and tilapia sits at the top of that list. I think about George, a 67-year-old retired carpenter, who came to me exhausted, swollen, and frustrated. He said, "Doctor, everything I eat feels heavy." When we swapped his weekly steaks and dark meats for steamed tilapia, the shift was almost immediate. His digestion eased, his energy lifted, and within weeks his labs began to turn around. Scientifically, tilapia makes perfect sense. It delivers around 22 grams of clean protein per 100 grams while keeping phosphorus at a manageable level, roughly 170 metamolars, far lower than beef or organ meats. Its naturally balanced omega-3 to omega-6 ratio helps calm inflammation, one of the hidden forces driving kidney decline. And because it digests easily, your kidneys aren't bombarded with excess nitrogen waste or metabolic strain. It's comfort food that doesn't punish your body. And once people feel that difference, they finally understand why choosing lighter proteins is not a weakness, it's a strategy for survival. But knowing this still isn't enough, because the next protein isn't just gentle or balanced. It's complete, it's ancient, and it carries a hidden advantage that can change how your kidneys eliminate waste from the inside out. And if tilapia gives your kidneys the comfort they've been craving, quinoa delivers something even rarer: strength without strain. This humble ancient grain has been quietly nourishing humans for thousands of years, but only recently have we understood how powerful it can be for people battling kidney disease. I'll never forget Sandra, a 70-year-old grandmother who came to me terrified because her potassium levels kept spiking no matter how healthy she tried to eat. Lentils were too high, beans overwhelmed her digestion, and rice left her sluggish. When we introduced quinoa just 3 nights a week, everything shifted. Her energy stabilized, her bloating eased, and her potassium levels finally calmed down. She told me, "For the first time in months, my body feels steady." Scientifically, quinoa is one of the few plant-based proteins that is truly complete, containing all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to repair tissue and maintain muscle. One cooked cup provides around 8 grams of high-quality protein, while keeping potassium and phosphorus significantly lower than red lentils or chickpeas. Even more impressive is its fiber content, fiber that helps remove nitrogen waste and urea through the gut instead of forcing your kidneys to handle all of it. That single shift dramatically reduces metabolic pressure, especially in people whose filtration rate is already declining. And when you combine complete protein, gentle digestion, and natural detox support, you get a food that doesn't just feed you, it protects you. But knowing this still isn't enough, because while these 4 proteins help your kidneys heal, the next category is where most people make their most dangerous mistakes. And the consequences can be devastating if you don't know what to avoid. If there is one protein that fools more Americans than any other, it's turkey bacon. It looks lean, it sounds healthier than pork, and every grocery store labels it like it's the safe choice. But inside your body, it behaves like a silent landmine, especially when your kidneys are already fighting to stay balanced. I still remember Angela, a 64-year-old teacher, who switched from regular bacon to turkey bacon because she genuinely wanted to protect her health. She thought she was doing the right thing, but her swelling got worse, her blood pressure climbed, and her phosphorus numbers spiked higher every month. She was devastated, and honestly, she wasn't alone. The truth is, turkey bacon is one of the most deceptive foods in the kidney world. One strip, just one, can contain over 500 milligrams of sodium, which is more than 20% of your entire daily limit. And hidden inside are phosphate additives and nitrites, chemicals that raise inflammation, trigger vascular calcification, and force your kidneys into overdrive trying to clear the excess. These additives hit your kidneys far faster and harder than natural phosphorus in whole foods. For someone with CKD, that difference is massive. When we pulled processed meats, including turkey bacon, from Angela's diet, her labs finally began to settle. Her blood pressure eased, her morning swelling calmed, and she told me I had no idea something that looked so healthy could be this dangerous. That's exactly why people miss it. The danger isn't obvious until it shows up in your blood work. But knowing this still isn't enough because the next protein on this list pretends to be a nutritious, plant-based hero. Yet inside the kidneys, it behaves more like a biochemical overload few people are prepared for. And if turkey bacon is the deceptive, healthy swap that quietly pushes your kidneys into trouble, red lentils are the plant-based trap most people never question. They look wholesome. They're praised in every magazine. They're loaded with fiber and often labeled as heart healthy. But inside the kidneys, red lentils behave very differently, and for many people with kidney disease, they can be the spark that triggers a dangerous mineral imbalance. I think of Eli, a longtime vegan patient who proudly told me he ate lentils every single day. He wasn't overeating junk food. He wasn't drinking sodas. He wasn't doing anything wrong. Yet his potassium kept skyrocketing, leaving him fatigued, shaky, and scared. When we reviewed his diet, the culprit was hiding in plain sight. Just one cooked cup of red lentils contains over 700 milliliters of potassium, far more than weakened kidneys can safely handle. And the danger doesn't stop there. Red lentils also pack over 350 milliliters of phosphorus per cup, enough to accelerate vascular calcification and bone loss in people whose kidneys can't regulate minerals efficiently. When we replaced his lentils with quinoa and lower potassium grains, his potassium stabilized within weeks. His energy rose, his anxiety eased, and he finally felt like his body wasn't working against him anymore. Red lentils aren't bad for everyone, but for people with CKD, they can be a biochemical storm waiting to happen. But knowing this still isn't enough, because the next protein isn't processed or plant-based. It's a nostalgic comfort food that delivers one of the harshest inflammatory hits your kidneys will ever experience. And if red lentils are the plant-based overload that catches people off guard, hot dogs are the nostalgic comfort food that hits your kidneys with the force of a freight train. They remind us of childhood cookouts, ball games, summer weekends, moments that feel warm and harmless. But inside your body, a hot dog is anything but harmless. It's one of the most aggressive kidney-damaging proteins hiding in plain sight. I think of Michael, a 71-year-old retired mechanic who swore he only ate one little hot dog for lunch, and he didn't smoke, he didn't drink. He honestly believed the tiny habit couldn't possibly be the problem. But when his GFR dropped faster than expected and his uric acid shot upward, we looked deeper. Hot dogs were the smoking gun. Each one is packed with sodium nitrates, oxidized fats, fillers, and phosphate preservatives, a chemical cocktail that inflames the glomeruli, the microscopic filters that keep your blood clean. And because they're ultra-processed, these chemicals hit the bloodstream quickly, overwhelming already weakened kidneys. A single hot dog can carry as much sodium as an entire bag of chips, and the phosphates inside absorb rapidly spiking levels even faster than whole food phosphorus. When Michael removed processed meats altogether, his inflammation markers dropped, his swelling improved, and his energy slowly returned. Hot dogs don't just stress the kidneys, they ignite inflammation throughout the entire vascular system. But knowing this still isn't enough, because the next protein disguises itself as a fitness essential, yet it can overwhelm your kidneys faster than almost any whole food on this list. And if hot dogs are the nostalgic danger no one wants to admit, Whey Protein Isolate is the modern trap almost everyone falls for, especially people who want to get healthier. It's sold as clean, pure, and muscle-friendly. Fitness influencers swear by it. Grocery stores place it in the health aisle. But for someone with weakened kidneys, Whey Isolate often becomes a silent overload your body can't keep up with. I remember Dan, a 48-year-old who considered himself fit and disciplined. He drank a whey protein shake every morning before work, thinking he was doing the right thing. But over time, his creatinine crept higher, his energy crashed by noon, and he couldn't understand why. When we removed his Whey Isolate, everything changed. Because here's the truth. Whey Isolate is stripped of fiber, antioxidants, and natural balancing compounds, leaving behind a concentrated protein flood. This creates a heavy nitrogen waste load that weak kidneys struggle to clear. And every time your kidneys fall behind, Toxins accumulate faster than your body can eliminate them. On top of that, many whey isolates contain hidden artificial sweeteners, thickeners, and inflammation-triggering additives that strain your filtration system even further. Dan didn't need more protein. He needed protein his kidneys could process without going into overdrive. After switching to egg whites and tofu, his labs began to stabilize and his afternoon fatigue finally lifted. Whey isolate isn't evil, but for damaged kidneys, it's simply too much, too fast, too concentrated. But knowing this still isn't enough, because the next protein on the list is one people consider healthy and natural, yet it carries a mineral load that quietly overwhelms kidney function day after day. And if whey isolate is the modern health trap, canned black beans are the everyday healthy food mistake almost no one questions. They sit in pantries across America with labels like high fiber, heart healthy, and plant powered. And for most people, that's true. But for someone with kidney disease, canned black beans come with a hidden mineral burden that can destabilize your labs faster than you expect. Take Teresa, a 66-year-old vegetarian patient who came to me frustrated because her potassium levels kept spiking even though she avoided meat-processed foods and sugary snacks. She couldn't understand why she felt heavy, swollen, and fatigued. But the answer was in her pantry. Even after rinsing and draining them, 1 cup of canned black beans still carries around 600 milliliters of potassium, far more than weakened kidneys can safely remove. And depending on the brand, the sodium content can rival or even surpass fast food items. That combination, high potassium, high sodium, and trapped fluids, creates the perfect storm for swelling blood pressure spikes and dangerous electrolyte imbalances. When we replaced her canned beans with soaked, cooked from dry beans and paired them with low potassium grains like couscous or quinoa, her numbers rapidly stabilized. She told me, "I finally feel like my body isn't fighting me anymore." Black beans themselves aren't the enemy, it's the canned version that becomes a silent overload. But knowing this still isn't enough, because the final protein on this list is the most culturally beloved, the most comforting, and yet one of the harshest things you can ask damaged kidneys to handle. And while canned black beans hide their danger behind a healthy label, steak hides behind something even more powerful: tradition. It's the weekend reward, the celebration food, the symbol of strength in American culture. And that's exactly why so many people never realize how aggressively it pushes their kidneys toward decline. It's not about taste, it's about the biochemical impact that happens long after the plate is empty. I still remember James, a 72-year-old former construction manager, who told me, "Doctor, I've eaten steak my whole life. It gives me energy." And he believed that with his entire heart. But his labs told a different story: creatinine rising, uric acid flaring, swelling creeping in. Steak was the hidden force accelerating his decline. Even the leanest cuts are loaded with purines, which the body breaks down into uric acid, a compound that inflames joints, blood vessels, and the delicate filters inside your kidneys. And that's only the beginning. Steak carries high phosphorus, high saturated fat, and a dense metabolic load that forces your kidneys to work significantly harder to clear waste. Every bite feels satisfying, but inside the kidneys, it's like adding weight to a system that's already struggling to stay upright. When James reduced his steak intake and swapped in gentler proteins like tilapia and tofu, his flare-ups decreased and his energy returned. He said, "I didn't know food could betray me like that." And the truth is, it's not betrayal, it's biology. Steak isn't evil, but for damaged kidneys, it's a heavy punch the body can't absorb for long. But even this still isn't the full story, because all the food choices in the world mean nothing if you're missing one final habit, the daily action that determines whether your kidneys decline or finally get the chance to recover. At the end of the day, I want you to remember this: your kidneys don't need perfection, they just need consistency. Even the smallest changes, swapping one risky protein for a safer one, taking that morning walk, choosing food that supports instead of stresses, can reshape your future in ways you may not see immediately, but your body will absolutely feel over time. You're not as powerless as your lab numbers might make you feel. Every day you have another chance to protect yourself, to get stronger, and to move toward better health, one choice at a time. And if this video gave you clarity, comfort, or even just one new idea that makes you feel more in control, please take a moment to save this video so you can come back to it whenever you need guidance. And make sure to subscribe to this channel because I share the latest medical insights and practical steps you can use to protect your kidneys and stay ahead of declining health information I want you to have before problems become irreversible. Most importantly, don't forget this, you're not alone in this journey. Healing takes time, patience, and support, and I'll be right here, walking with you, helping you make the choices that keep your kidneys working for many years to come. Your future can be brighter than your past, and with the right steps, your body can surprise you in the best possible way. Stay hopeful, stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next video.